Professional football in America is a special game, a unique game. Played nowhere else on earth, it is a rare game. The men who play it make it so.
Hey, everyone in, let's go. Huddle up on three. 1, 2, 3, huddle up.
Y'all like y'all never played football before. These guys are nothing.
You hear me?
They breathe just like we do.
Yes, sir.
They sweat just like we do.
Do you hear me?
They went through 2 days. We went through 2 days in 110-degree heat.
Yes, sir.
I want you to hit everything that moves. If the ref gets in your way, you hit him.
Okay, then let's play.
But that cheating us too. That gets us too. This is our team. This is us. Let's go right now. Let's get it up now. Let's go.
Back-to-back, man. You do not see this in college football.
But the Georgia Bulldogs bludgeoned their way to back-to-back. Glory, glory, Georgia, as the fight song says.
For the lead. Butker up, got it. And the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57. And now, welcome everyone to the Huddle Up Podcast.
You are looking live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. You are looking live. Excuse me. I thought I was better. I'm mostly better, but apparently it still lingers and rears its ugly head. But we are live. We are the Huddle Up Podcast, and it is Tuesday. It is December the 26th, one day after Christmas or whatever holiday you want to celebrate on the 25th. We're not here to judge. But we are here. We are live. Matt still on the IR. We hope to have him back at some point before the offseason. EJ is maybe going to be joining us if he finds the right library to park in front of to get his internet. But
hey, that was so beautifully timed.
Just as we were calling him, too. It's like he heard us. Did you hear
Well,
us?
I actually did because I was listening on YouTube in the meantime until I logged in.
Which we are live on YouTube. Absolutely.
Yes, we are. And
We are
Twitch,
actually live
and Twitch
again
also.
we're live again on Twitter because apparently now you can comment
I saw that.
on Twitter. So the Twitter feedback is live again. So if you were joining us there, let us know. A bunch of faces joining us live here. Mike joining us, Devin joining us. What's up, guys?
Hey.
And like and share if you are with us live. We certainly do appreciate that. Comment throughout the show. We do love the interaction. Don't make fun of EJ too much. He is very sensitive. But student of the game, Kyle Nash. How are we doing this week?
Hey, listen, honor, joy, and privilege. Got a little extra laughter with your intro there, Jim. First it was Georgia, then listening to the Kansas City Chiefs outro with what had transpired this past weekend is only more hilarious. More on that later. And I think EJ was running late because he was trying to find the right research to try to back somebody actually thinking whether or not Steph Curry's the GOAT is a legitimate topic. But you can check that out on their Honestly Speaking podcast. Bing!
Wow.
What? I'm plugging your show, ass.
I appreciate that, but I didn't say that.
I know you didn't say that, Steph Curry.
Blame your boy Shaq.
But you were exploring the content there, Captain Clickbait. All right, let's just
And rightfully so.
No, not rightly. It was a bad take, but we can have that on a non-football show.
Ernest CJ Christian, how we doing, my friend?
So we're down another Mulizen one more time.
Excuse me. I forgot. Earnestly Speaking with Zach the Degenerate. I forgot to mention that. My bad.
You're nothing but a degenerate.
Tim
This is
joining us.
right.
What's going on, Tim?
Where is Matt again? So the Eagles, well, they won this
He's
weekend.
still on the IR, man.
Oh my God.
He asked for 20 minutes to brag about the Eagles finally winning a game, and I said no, and that's why he's not here this week.
Listen. First of all,
But he bought me this shirt for Christmas, so he's here with us in spirit.
I mean, Flutie's amazing. You're the problem. But my next point is this:
Flutie was not amazing.
You can't handle the truth.
No, it tells me you didn't watch any Notre Dame football, but that's fine.
Oh no, I'm more talking about his NFL career with awesome works with Buffalo and then drop kicking a field goal, all of that stuff.
I'm talking him as an on-air analyst for NBC college football where he was terrible.
Oh,
He's
to
not good?
that,
Okay.
I cannot speak. Yes, no, you're absolutely right.
That's where
Yeah.
the shut up comes in.
What I wish to put before the committee is from this point forward, I know he's more formally known as this show's AJ Hawk. I would like to refer to Matt as Patient Zero throughout the month of January.
It allowed. It
Okay.
is allowed.
Carry on.
You can get our merchandise over at tpublic.com. Make sure you are subscribed on YouTube.
By
On
the
all
way, Jim, 35% off on TeePublic this month.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, probably still valid, I would assume. If not, buy it at full price, motherfuckers. Buy our shit, okay? Either way, I don't care if it's on sale or not. Buy it.
Check the goddamn link.
Merchandising.
And subscribe on the YouTube. Definitely a lot of action going on the YouTube channel, so we certainly do appreciate the support and love over there as well. Yeah, guys, let's go ahead and let's jump on in here as we do. Each week, we look back at the weekend that was, and we look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. EJ, we will start with you. What was good this past weekend?
My good this week is actually going to be Lamar Jackson's MVP case. Now, I say that with an asterisk.
Nice of you to show up, kid.
Of course you do.
With an asterisk, because we know Vegas, we know the media's going to prop this up now. They already started doing it all day long. You know, he's down the front runner. Okay. It should still be Tyreek Hill. This should be clear. Tyreek Hill should be the front runner for MVP. But if we're going to go as top quarterback in the league, because obviously this is really a quarterback award at this point now. It is what it is. We hate the rules, but it is what it is. Lamar Jackson should be the MVP front runner right now by virtue of the rules.
So here's the thing. If we want to agree Tyreek Hill should be the front runner, that's fine. If you want to say Christian McCaffrey should be 1 or 2, that's fine. But if we're talking about quarterbacks that should be in the discussion, the answer is Lamar Jackson.
Correct. Lead the discussion, Jim.
That's the discussion. So,
correct.
You can say Tyreek Hill is the front runner. I think, yeah, and Mike says it as well here. Christian McCaffrey would like a word.
And rightly so.
He's in top 3. He's in top 3. It's
right,
McCaffrey,
okay.
Lamar, and
rightly so.
But you said front runner. I would tend to lean towards McCaffrey personally. I don't think it's a lock it up. Tyreek Hill is or should be the number 1. But Hill, McCaffrey, Jackson, those are your 3. We have 2 weeks to figure.
My larger point though is we went through this last week. Vegas had their top 6 guys. Hill was not even on the fucking list. Forget the fact he was in top 5.
Right.
He wasn't on the fucking list.
And again,
So
my
that's the
point
problem
again, and if you would have done the time to do the research to see the actual correlation between betting and guys who actually won, which I brought up on last week's show and you didn't do it.
In fairness, I don't think he could have gotten that in a week. I'll back him on that one.
Yeah. So, but again, I will react more if Tyreek Hill isn't an announced finalist. Personally, I don't give a fuck what Vegas says.
But I think my larger point is that the media spins out what Vegas says and vice versa. You don't hear the Tyreek Hill conversation in the media. That's the thing. You haven't heard it in weeks. You heard Brock.
You know what
McCaffrey.
you've heard? You know what you've heard, EJ? Oh,
Right.
He got hurt Monday against the Titans.
Right.
That's going to take him out of the race, and they've already written him out. At this point, if you are a writer out there that has an MVP vote, it's kind of like voting for Tyreek Hill at this point is kind of like voting for a third candidate in an American election. It's nice to have principle.
He's Gary Johnson right now.
For example, Ross Perot, whatever example you want to use, he's that guy. All right.
Okay.
Right. Again, like I said, I get what you're saying from a Vegas standpoint, from a media standpoint. You know how I feel about both of those. I'll react harshly if Tyreek Hill's not a finalist.
But that being said, let's remember Lamar. How dumb the Ravens look now in hindsight, even questioning, should we keep this guy going forward and paying him the money? How dumb do the Atlanta Falcons look right now not going after this guy? How dumb do the Commanders look not going after this guy? And other teams that need a quarterback.
Skip.
Just saying, look dumb.
Skip.
Dumb. And he's proving everybody wrong.
Skip.
The thing everybody's saying they couldn't do. He's a running back. He just supposed to put a pocket.
Well,
and now he's changed that narrative now this year too. So
Skip, I don't think that came up in the offseason. Skip.
what
That
did
wasn't
that come on off season? What do you mean?
Now, if you do want to make the comment about the Falcons and all this other stuff, if you want to make a comment about the Ravens and being worried about his injury history, which ironically, as the one guy who hasn't gotten hurt yet, knock, 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 in the AFC North, because of that, he's the number 1 seed. If you want to comment on that absolutely delicious morsel of irony, I'm all for it. But even still, I think that's faulty. Skip, I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. Apparently now Shannon Sharp plays Lucifer Morningstar. Whole other question. Whatever. We get heroes retcon to change race and gender all the time. I can do it with Lucifer Morningstar. The punchline's this. It was never a factor. It was a pure instance of a game of chicken and posturing that went to the 11th hour, just like Drew Brees. The reason why these other teams didn't do anything is because they probably knew that it wasn't really a thing. The Falcons look stupid because they went with Desmond Ridder. It has nothing to do with Lamar Demetrius Jackson. Can we be clear that the fraud cons already look dumb? Brother, I will go to the fire with you in that.
He ain't lying.
But perhaps the media, of which you are a member, is just spinning here. They don't know. They're creating stories, and a lot of them are pro Lamar, which I have zero problem with, obviously, as one of them of a lighter hue, by the way, who appreciates Lamar Demetrius Jackson. I was critical of him as a college player, not winning the big game until he did, which he didn't really do in college, but he did later in his NFL career, where the gap between his protection and what he was facing on the other side would never be as wide as it was when he was a Louisville quarterback playing an SEC team. Facts of the case. I mentioned that one particular because he was facing then acting coach Ed Ogeron and LSU in the Citrus Bowl. My first college.
Tigers.
Yeah, go Tigers, EJ Christian. That's right. I don't think there was ever any real threat of him leaving. I said as much as August. I made a reel about it on the Student of the Game. Bing! I even talked to my good friend Nicholas Jorgensen, big-time Raven fan and podcaster with the Gold Klude podcast in Denmark. That's right. I'm international, bitches. Punchline being, it was just a story that people created, and a bunch of people like white Skip Bayless, black Skip Bayless, green Skip Bayless, whatever, your mom Skip Bayless, was going to make noise about whether it was true or not. It was posturing the whole damn time.
Do you believe that even in a real time at the time? Like, do you even think that?
Yes, I'm on record, EJ Christian.
Okay. I thought you'd come back, but I thought that my point was I thought teams like Atlanta, who have massive quarterback questions, Washington, massive quarterback questions, should at least taking just a feeler. Hey,
now in your defense,
hold on. How do you know they didn't inquire though?
That's a good point too.
Like you're making the implication that these teams didn't inquire
because they all colluded, dude. Because Deshaun Watson fucked everything up.
Okay, that's
wow.
Did you line the van walls with tinfoil this week, or what are we doing?
Yep.
But like, we don't know if there was conversations between other teams and Lamar. Like we don't know that, and especially that he represents himself. I think those conversations are probably even more secretive than guys who have agents who have loose lips and loose fingers and text messages and things like that. So like. We don't know that.
I think a lot of the point though is that he is really all the goalposts moving from people who said about Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he's good, but that's ending now, week after week. And
it's
now
ending because he's staying healthy. Knock on wood, so far.
But even when he's healthy, though, there's always the but thing. But he can't stay in the pocket and throw the ball. Like that's ending now. Well, there are people, friends of mine. There are friends of mine who 2 years ago, even last year, said, "Oh, he's not a great quarterback. He's just a great running guy," and they've changed their mind on Lamar Jackson the last couple of weeks now.
Nice to see them Joe up.
Like, hey, you're 4 years late, buddy. Good job. But yeah, it's good to see that the narrative's changing on Lamar as a quarterback in this league.
And Mike brings up a good point about teams like Atlanta and teams like Washington not making a real move at him. Those teams are also more than a quarterback away. So.
I
True.
don't feel like a good quarterback in Atlanta would have at least made them the odds-on favorite to win the South, and then being the healthiest with an easy road, like the EJ's Patriots did a number of times. If you're in the tournament, you can threaten. That being said, I doubt that group has the coach to do anything threatening with it. And
Yeah,
that,
well, that's part of the
Kyle,
biggest problem in Atlanta.
What's the thing I think I've said for years about great quarterbacks? They guarantee you at least 8 to 10 wins a year, and then after that, you figure it out from there. You have a top tier quarterback, it gets you 8 to 10 wins a year. It puts you in the conversation going to the playoffs. Everything beyond that, you figure it out going forward.
yeah, that school of thought that you've attached yourself to is certainly one I understand. I hesitate to go full on. It can lead you to 10 wins.
8 to 10. That's 8 to 10. It gives you the leash.
Yes, exactly. And I will certainly be more comfortable with the 8 than the 10, obviously.
Well, of course. Yeah, it's fine. Right.
And there's certain elements where even great quarterbacks that could get you 10 or 12 wins can break down in a short period of time and completely blow what should be an easy game. More on that later.
And by the way, Lamar is in that category of guys who can turn the team around. This in that 8 to 10 win marker. Like you have guys like Brady and
Lamar
guys
Demetrius,
like Rodgers, and
yes.
yeah, he's that guy in that conversation also too.
Mike, I'm not 100% sure that Lamar doesn't win 8 games in DC. I mean, they have 4 now with Sam Howell as quarterback.
I think the bigger point he's making is that the O-line isn't there, but I think how Jim the combating point you make of Eric Bieniemy being in the building, I lean more with you. I feel like Eric Bieniemy and Lamar Demetrius Jackson with that schedule could get 8 wins.
Right? Like, are they a NFC title contender?
No.
But yeah, I mean, a 3-point loss to Philadelphia could easily be a win. A 7-point loss to the Giants could easily be a win. A 7-point loss to the Eagles could be a win. A 3-point loss to Seattle could be a win. A 7-point loss to the Rams could be a win. A 2-point loss to the Jets could be a win.
Hell, an overtime appearance became a win.
You know what I mean? So well, yeah, that was the first one against Philly. So like right there was 5 or 6 games that again, not guaranteed.
By the way, Jim, I was making a Rams reference as the Ravens recently beat them in overtime.
Yes.
And by the way, what I'm saying too about Lamar about the 8-10 win thing, I've been saying for a couple of years now. It's not a brand new take I'm bringing here. I've been saying this for a couple of years now.
No, I'll back you on that. Just for those who think that EJ's trying to preach something silly here. No, this is
there's plenty of time left on this show for that.
Yes, absolutely. Tool time.
Baltimore not being as good without him should prove you that as much.
Student of the game, Kyle Nash. What was your good from this past weekend?
Man, this topic was fun. Over and above. Well, I guess Monday doesn't count as a weekend, so I can't make a sentimental comment about my kids enjoying Christmas and all that other stuff.
That counts as the weekend.
It counts, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, Monday counts as the okay. Actually, technically speaking, this is a football show. It obviously does. My bad.
Yes. Right.
I'm gonna take. Call it a fence-sitting take if you want, but the slate of holiday football we got was pretty fun. I have to give that an absolute bing here.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, there's all sorts of unexpected football greatness, and really, the only unfortunate thing about the weekend, from my very selfish individual perspective, if you sons of bitches keep saying something about a certain guy getting hurt and then bringing it to reality, when yes, both of you weird face looking who me guys with Trent Williams getting banged up in the Ravens game, you sons of bitches. How did that become my good?
You sound insane.
That doesn't make me wrong.
I don't give a fuck.
God, man, how do you really feel, Jim? Jesus. Good God.
I have a Christmas. I bleed. No, but seriously, there was a lot of good football. And even the first half of the Niners Ravens game was amazing stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the holiday slate, at least on Christmas Day and Saturday and part of Sunday,
I will say that even if there were some weird matchups that didn't really look good on paper, the games itself were competitive too. Most of the games were competitive.
That's my point, big dog. Yeah. You're right on my page.
Yeah.
I mean, who had the Bolts being competitive with the Bills?
Exactly. Ugh.
That's the last act of a desperate man right there.
Yeah.
With that team. But yeah, there was plenty of good football to go around this weekend. My good, something that kind of got lost in college football with all of the other craziness that went on. And we talked about throughout the season, the Colorado starting off the year hot, even at like 5 wins, it was still a win for Coach Prime and that team. Northwestern, okay, they went from 1-11, Pat Fitzgerald out, new coach in. That team just went 8-5 and beat Utah in a bowl game. Now I don't know
Jim's Utes. Yeah.
my Utes.
Sorry,
Utes.
I don't
Right.
know. I don't know who was playing and who wasn't on which teams, but to go from 1-11 to 8-5, that's a really good turnaround for that Northwestern team. I mean, obviously the Big Ten's about to go through a major shakeup, and who knows what it's going to mean in the long run. But just wanted to shout that out as a good with the bowl.
No, that's a great point. I mean, like, just think about what Dion did in his bowl game. Oh wait.
Oh,
damn, that's a low blow. Jesus.
Student of the game.
Do I need to pull the journey up again then for you, EJ?
I don't give a fuck.
Student of the game. Oh wait, let's backtrack. Devin, yeah, fucking Homer.
Homer.
His good is the Miami Dolphins field goal.
I mean, to be fair, it's a big winning. It's a winning team.
And Mike said his good 38-year-old Joe Flacco has the Browns looking like a team to be reckoned with. Yeah, more on that later.
Real quick honorable mention: Mason bleeping Rudolph winning a football game.
Earning another start. I mean, you should have seen that coming. Rudolph winning on Christmas. Am I right?
Hey,
anybody? Just saying. But
I'm so bright.
You're so good. You're so good at this, Jim.
More on the Browns later. But yeah, that team that team is looking, man. Wouldn't it be the most Cleveland thing for a Baltimore Super Bowl winning quarterback to have to come in and be your dude?
And, well, since we're talking about the Browns, I'm gonna say it now. They're in my bubble now, because with the AFC ceiling lowering now.
Here we go.
I can still play an AFC title game,
and we'll get to it. Let's put that back on the simmer burner.
Okay.
Kyle, what was your pad from this past weekend besides EJ's bubble?
I was about to say technically Tuesday doesn't count, but he did say that in our DM, so I could count that as a weekend. But my bad. And if somebody has it, they're ugly. I don't blame you. The ending of the Raiders-Chiefs game going the way that it did. Listen, I'm not anti-Taylor Swift or any of these guys who want things to be more slowly rather than swiftly. Yeah, just Patrick LaVon Mahomes II having literally his worst period of football in the league. I mean, granted, there are games that Thomas Edward Patrick Beaver Brady lost at the end with an interception. This took that to a whole new level.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, there's a lot of ugly that you could put or bad from that Chiefs that Chiefs Raiders game. 0 pass attempts in the second half for the Raiders. It's a whole lot, but yeah, just absolute craziness.
I mean, if we only had a Giants fan to prop Antonio Pierce as being an excellent interim coach.
If only, maybe one day.
Time to give him a job.
Joe says Mason Rudolph definitely an upgrade over Trubisky. Look, most anything is an upgrade from
Trubisky or whatever the hell his name is.
That would be Trubisky. Yes.
Devin agrees with you, Kyle.
Hey.
EJ, what was your bad from this past week?
Well, my bad was the Chiefs in general. Like you said, the Chiefs Raiders game.
I had them in my ugly, but sure,
it's time to talk. It's time to talk about the Pat meter. You know, again, the only thing that saves them at this point now is that the AFC is so wide open. Yeah, can I still see them playing AFC title game? Yeah, because the AFC is wide open. I mean, Baltimore is the clear-cut favorite, yes.
EJ, take a seat. I've got it reserved for you for about the last month.
Right, but you gotta play someone who's a someone. I don't know. It could be the Dolphins, it could be the Browns, it could be the Chiefs. Obviously, it could be but things are looks bad. Looks bad in Kansas City.
Here's the thing. You guys brought a panic meter and said who was most panicked between the Jags, the Cowboys, and might have been the Chiefs. And I had
the Chiefs in that list.
Yeah, I had said that the Jags were not the correct answer because they are in a dominant position and they have two teams that could lose games to help them out. Now, granted, like I had said, might happen. The Bucs did in fact beat the Jags, and guess who helped them out? It's not like I wrote a Christmas poem about it on Jaguar Report or anything like that. Bing! Like, seriously, I'm going to toot my home for a minute. Not only did I call my shot, I did the shit in the form of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," Mamma Jammas. Talent, bitch.
You were lying.
Most humble man in the business, folks.
I mean, the thing.
Hey, all my ego. I also know I'm the most humble mother in the room. That's right.
Allegedly. No, but the Chiefs, to me, the Chiefs are going to get the playoffs, obviously, because the AFC West. They'll win one more game before the year's over. They'll get in the playoffs. The reason
You got to be careful throwing shit around like that, EJ.
Yeah,
Raiders winning. Russell Wilson would like a word with you about throwing shit like that around.
That's true. Another team I jinxed this week. Oh, that's 2 weeks.
Williams,
no,
bitch.
No, right. Another player I jinxed this week too. Also, thank you. No, but
he says thank you. What a douche.
Well, no, but the thing is, whatever. It is what it is. But like I said,
I love you, EJ.
The Chiefs have obviously the large margin of error. Clearly, they're not going to get the 1 seed now. That's out of the picture now. But they're getting into the playoffs.
Mathematically gone.
They're getting into the playoffs. They'll get into the playoffs at some point, and we'll figure out. But the panic with the Chiefs is more of a big picture thing. That's more what it is. It's a big picture. Jaguars, I said because of the fact that division is excited.
It's all of the things for the last like 3-4 weeks that I've been telling you
why
the Chiefs are not a great team, and you're like, but they won a Super Bowl last year. I've been trying to. Wait.
Do it.
Tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, but that wasn't my reasoning though. Never mind.
What part of it was?
Well, but a lot of it too. What did I say to you? But what did I say? What did I say to you over the weekend too? And I said this last week also. Because there's no clear number 2 team in the AFC, it puts them in the conversation. We agree Baltimore. We all agree Baltimore number 1 team in the AFC.
No, but I've been trying because you've had the Chiefs still in the top 3 or 4 for a couple weeks on your power rankings.
Because everybody, but here's the thing though, everybody is struggling now though. Everybody is struggling now. Eagles struggling, Cowboys struggling.
Lions have won 3 in a row.
The Eagles and it's 2 in a row. I mean, everybody's struggling now.
Lions have won 3 in a row, including a team that was in your top 10. You kept them at number 6. What are you talking about? Everybody's struggling.
Excuse me, Jim. I think this is an appropriate time to have EJ's kid dunk on him. May I tried to tell you when Eli's
Yes.
I tried to tell you what you were.
No, what Joe here is saying, he has a point. Yeah, the Chiefs are struggling. I agree. But again, who's your number 2 team in the AFC right now? The Baltimore now. Can you make it concise?
This
and
week I take Miami
and not just a panel here. I'm asking everybody in the chat also too. After Baltimore, who do you have as a clear number 2 in the AFC?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll get to that later.
Right. I don't know. Which puts them in the conversation. And they have Pat Mahomes also too on top of that. So,
I was told that I need to worry about the Jags. That's what I was told.
Well, they got lucky because they everybody in the division lost this weekend.
They got lucky. You mean just like I wrote about on the Jag Report in holiday fashion, bitch? Who says you need jingle bells only on Christmas, Humpy Pumpy?
Yeah, Mike says he would take Miami, Cleveland, Buffalo all over Kansas City. Joe says he'd take the Browns over the Chiefs at this point.
That being said, I will back EJ on one thing. Let's not overreact to one bad minute of football from Patrick LeVon Mahomes II.
No, I am certainly not doing that. I'm reacting to a pattern I've seen over a month.
It's the 3 weeks. And granted, as much as you guys like to bury the Buffalo Bills, and rightly so, it's when they beat the Chiefs, that's because I think there was a lot of emotion and an actual, what's his word? Chutzpah in that game, if you will.
Yeah, and Mike brings up a great point. Is like for a while the message was with the Chiefs, they'll figure it out. They have Mahomes. They have Andy Reid.
They have defense.
They'll figure it out. But they have receivers who are continuing to not catch the ball. They are making mistakes. They're having an offensive line that is breaking down repeatedly over weeks. They're having running backs that keep getting hurt. Like the window to figure it out is running out for this year, and that's also been part of my.
No. I'm not saying, and for the people in the chat, I'm not saying the Chiefs are not in trouble. The Panthers are at an 8 or 9 at this point now. They're in trouble. What I'm saying to you is that, are the Chiefs still Super Bowl contender? Could you still see the Chiefs playing an AFC title game? I can still see it. Now, will they get there? It's a whole different conversation.
Well, the reason why you can, and
if I had to say today, will the Chiefs be playing in the AFC title game? I would give you a
depends on the matchup.
Hold on, Jim, you're spinning the question a different way, and I'm not saying you're wrong to do that, but giving EJ what I believe he's trying to say is not source based, it's results based. He's saying if Patrick Mahomes II and the Chiefs are in a Super Bowl come February, will you be surprised? And the answer will emphatically probably be no. Will it be amazing from the standpoint that they overcame all the BS that they have? Absolutely. But, and I hate this because EJ would always do this kind of crap on his podcast all through our time doing this while he was busy verbally filleting the guy. Thank you, sir. Busy filleting the guy who was not the actual GOAT in Thomas Edward Patrick Beaver Brady. As long as they have Tom Brady, have a chance. The same thing applies to Patrick Mahomes II, I believe.
Right, but he used the word Super Bowl contender, which, as we have deduced over the course of the season, means will they be playing on conference championship weekend? If you give me that question today, to me the answer is no.
Then who is the yes? But we'll get to that later.
We will get to that later.
But that's my point too. Also, like Mike, I'm gonna say Mike, to his point, at least had a concise answer to that question, so I'll give him that.
Oh, to Mike's answer, he says he'd be very surprised if they're playing in the Super Bowl. I would also, at this point, be surprised if they're playing in the Super Bowl.
Oh,
like just be like, and again, it has nothing to do with Mahomes. Like, it has nothing to do with Mahomes and who he is as a player and what he's proven he can do as a player. To me, the issue with the Chiefs is the issue with the Chiefs. Like, it's what that team has told us they are and aren't over the course of this year. But let's see here. For me, because you gave your bad, right, Kyle?
My bad was, in fact, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, okay.
And how we got here, ironically.
I will give my bad, and then eventually when EJ speaks to the parking attendant about why he's parked in that spot on the street. Oh, he's back. It was a quick traffic ticket situation.
No, the kid needed a allergy med. So,
gotcha. EJ, what was your bad from this past weekend?
That was my bad. Was Chiefs.
That was my bad.
No. He said Chiefs Raiders game. I said Chiefs overall.
Oh, Chiefs. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, it's on you now. It's on you now.
All right, my bad. Oh boy. I won't go homer on this one, although there's plenty of bad to go there. Sam Howell's Commanders career.
Woo!
Look, I know we keep seeing reports that Washington is confident in him, and they feel he is going to be the guy moving forward. Is he? Because Jacoby Brissett has ran that offense in relief much more efficiently than Sam Howell has most of the year. And now, like, they're at a point where it's a regime that is probably on the final 2 weeks of its shelf life, but they haven't named a starter. They won't confirm that Sam Howell will be the starter, which we've all been around this business long enough to know that Jacoby Brissett is probably going to be the starter for the Washington Commanders this weekend. That's not a vote of confidence moving forward, in my opinion. So yeah, he stinks. So Kyle, for anyone that wouldn't hear you,
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't
Sam
listen.
Howell stinks. Tim, a Washington fan, God bless you. He says, throw away the entire team. The whole thing sucks.
Hey, could have played for Lamar, but
Thing sucks.
By the way, Tim, let me remind you, in case you haven't heard it, the reason why you were having so much trouble with Mr. Howell, Samuel Howell has 3 L's in his name. That's all I'm saying. Anyways.
No, Mike, I see what you're trying to do there. You said Sam Howell, if 5 games go the other way, they're playing for a playoff spot. Your point earlier was that Lamar Jackson wouldn't have this team to 8 wins, and I showed you where they would. Sam Howell lost those games. Lamar Jackson wouldn't. That was the point.
It's a good
Gotcha,
point.
bitch.
Like Lamar Jackson greater than symbol Sam Howell.
Can't have both ways, Jim.
No. Let's see. I think Mike had a bad in there somewhere.
Just say me
The
wrong,
NFC
listen, be
South. He
wrong,
said
and
the
be used
NFC
to it.
South. All right. The ugly. EJ, what was your ugly from this past weekend?
I had a couple here, but you know what? Honestly, they all fall into my jinx. My jinx, the jinx continues. I jinxed the Broncos.
You son of a
I
bitch.
jinxed Trent Williams.
You son of a bitch.
I mean, it is what it is, man.
You
Guys,
son of a
whatever I
bitch.
pick, just go
You
against it.
son
buddy.
of a bitch. Yes.
The Broncos my ugly, to be honest with you, because again, what did I say about the Broncos?
Denver
Even
Broncos.
after the Detroit win last week, okay, cool. They lost the game. I think we all
Detroit's a better team.
Well, right, we all agree with that. But the schedule gets easy. Patriots, Chargers, Raiders, end of the year.
Yeah,
Cool
every
story,
time you
bro.
talk about an easy schedule, there's
Packers, remember the Packers, same bullshit, and they lose 2 in a row to that? Yeah, Broncos are done. Yeah, bad. Really bad.
okay. I mean, Tim, I can appreciate this. We'll check in with you maybe next year. He says, I believe in Sam Howell. I do not believe in our dog shit secondary. And
Listen, you want to believe in an ACC quarterback? You do you, homie.
I don't think Sam Howell's terrible, but definitely need a better quarterback, though.
Yeah, okay. Kyle, you're ugly from this past weekend.
Oh my goodness gracious. Cue up Danny Thompson, his fraud cons beating the Colts. Sam Steichen, coach of the not so much, folks. Oh my goodness gracious. I haven't seen this kind of disaster to knock a team out of the playoffs since the Red Tails, Commanders last year, where your freaking coach didn't know if you needed that game to play for a playoff win or not. Oh my gosh. Well, in fairness, it wasn't Desmond Ridder. I guess that's the good news, but by the same token, goodness gracious, Colts, what are you doing from Colt to Dolt in a single football game? And suddenly it just got really nasty in the AFC South.
Yeah, it definitely did. My ugly, because I had the Chiefs, I had the Broncos. I'll go. We've had injury issues all year. Today it was announced T.J. Hawkinson out for the remainder of the season, torn ACL, MCL for the Vikings. So in their final push, whatever that's going to look like, with Nick Mullins or whoever the hell is going to be playing quarterback there. It's a shame you're going to lose one of your best weapons. Mike says his ugly, the 2 Cowboy fans screwing his midseason award MVP, Trent Williams, voicing his injury into existence. I have no clue what you're talking about, Mike.
Wow. Listen, I'll say this for Byrne. His face is probably just as red as Rudolph's nose.
Another thing I jinxed also too with the Bengals.
Devin has his ugly. He says the Cowboys when they fumbled at the near the end zone.
Oh wow! Shots fired.
Honestly though, my the thing that is uglier is Tony Pollard ignoring the clear, wide open pylon at the end zone and deciding to run into a tackler and get spun around. The Tony Pollard experience is not what we signed up for what it's worth. That's been a disappointment all season long.
Not great, Bob.
Mike's
Not great, Bob.
real ugly. He said the Bengals secondary just disappeared on the road again. 0-5 in the division, 8-3 versus the rest of the NFL.
Reindeer.
Yeah, my God.
Apparently, he's going to go down in history.
Well, somehow, some way.
You could argue that Tony Pollard being so bad this year actually strengthened Dak's MVP case.
Dak doesn't have an MVP case.
Not anymore now, but when it was a thing.
Your fanhood is showing. Stop with your Cowboy fan bullshit.
I get he was leading the Vegas odds.
All right, folks, listen to this podcast. I'm not a Cowboys fan. Listen to Kyle.
He obviously is. Only a Cowboys fan would take Dak seriously as an MVP. No offense to him.
I mean, here's the deal. What I had said was before the Seahawks game was if he got through this stretch clean and the Cowboys were victorious through the whole stretch, he would be, and rightly so, in the conversation.
And rightly so.
They did not get through it clean. Besides the Dolphins, or excuse me, besides the Bills game, he has still been fantastic though. But he is not.
That SmackDown.
He is not and should not be a
top 5 candidate,
a MVP candidate. CeeDee Lamb, big. Not that he's in the finalist discussion by any stretch, but I would agree with this. CeeDee Lamb, bigger MVP candidate.
It's been awesome this year. I'll tell you that. It's been really awesome this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So shockingly, a wide receiver one, at least shockingly to some people.
Wow.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Wow.
But
Kyle's wowzing.
all right, let's move on here, gentlemen, because the college football playoff semifinals are finally going to be upon us.
Oh, that's this one. I'm sorry, it's been so long. I've forgotten.
Days from now, we will have actually by this point, one of these games will be determined. One of them will be, well, let's see. The game supposedly starts at 8:45, so it's 9:14. So the game will be kicking off in about 3 minutes.
Allegedly.
First off, why the fuck is there a bowl game starting at 8:45? But anyway, that's this old man yelling at cloud.
Hey, listen. Your bowl covering media members are human too. Okay, listen. I'm mad enough by a 6:30 start for me covering the Pop-Tarts Bowl this Thursday. Okay.
I'm just glad to be home in time to watch these games. That's all.
But that'd be for the 3-point conversion since we got a big.
Now, what is your preferred Pop-Tart flavor, Kyle?
I mean, I'm old school. Bring that strawberry action.
Hell yeah, baby.
My man.
Yep.
My man. These games, the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl on Monday, January the 1st, but we'll start with the Rose Bowl presented by Prudential, 5:00 Eastern time on ESPN from Pasadena, California. It is the number 1 Michigan Wolverines. They are 13-0. They're a 1.5-point favorite against number 4 Alabama, who is 12-1. 45 is your over-under on this one. EJ, we'll start with you. Oh, Mike going brown sugar cinnamon for the Pop-Tarts. Don't hate it. Don't hate it.
Yeah, no one said it was bad. It's just not my favorite. The question was my favorite. But listen, if somebody offers me a pepperoni pizza instead or a mushroom pizza instead of a pepperoni pizza, I ain't mad at them either. I'm going to have the mushrooms.
Man.
I saw it for you as long as I could, EJ Christian. Step your
No, I'm taking Michigan. No way home taking Alabama win this game. I mean, they could, but Michigan finally does it. They get to the final 2. Give Michigan to cover outright, and I think they'll win convincingly. Actually, to be honest with you. And give me the over.
All right, student of the game, Kyle Nash.
You know, the irony that I covered this game as the last bowl game before COVID, at the Citrus Bowl here, when Jim Harbaugh was still coaching in Michigan. What ended up turning the game in the direction of turning the tide for the Tide. See what I did there? Was the trenches. Thank you, sir. At this point, the thing that makes me so sure that the Wolverines will look like a comic book superhero against the Crimson Tide is, in fact, the activity in the trenches. I just don't think Alabama can compete with them the same way. And just will have the Alabama offense in duress. That's the kind of thing that leads to somebody with being audacious enough to say that Michigan will not only cover outright, but then also leads them to take the over, much like my good friend Ernest Julius Christian did. So there you go.
Yeah, look, I mean, Michigan definitely tested in their final regular season game, showed what they can do.
And that was without the head coach on the sideline, Jim.
That is correct. And you know, Alabama over the course of the season, and even in the closing games. I mean, I understand they beat Georgia, but you know, a week prior to beating Georgia, they needed a miracle to beat an Auburn team that lost to, like, you know, what was it, the St. Catherine's School for Mormons or something the week prior. Like, this is not. I don't think this is the same Alabama that we have seen and come to know and love or hate, depending who you are, over the past feels like 100 years. You know, I think this Michigan team is bigger. I think they are stronger. I think they are a better football team. And they're playing with a chip on their shoulder that I don't think Alabama is. All year there's been a cloud over this team and people telling them they're not good. They're only doing it because of, they know what plays are coming. And like all of this stuff has seemed to make this team better. And they've had a month to prepare. And finally, for the first time all season, focus on football. And I think that battle of the trenches, I agree with Kyle and EJ as well, is going to be the difference. And I do think Michigan covers.
It does have a team of destiny, like, kind of feel to it now.
Yeah, I mean, it just, yeah, I hate to use phrases like that because
all Hollywood.
It feels like you're getting into danger territory, but it just, when Harbaugh is told on the tarmac going to Penn State that he's not going to coach, everybody at that point is like, oh, well, this is, they're just going to lose tomorrow. Well, then they beat Penn State. And then it's, well, they can't beat Ohio State, especially not without their head coach. And then they fucking do it. And they, then we get sad walk Ryan Day up the tunnel. And like, it just, make
sure you point out that out there, Marge.
I mean, look, anytime
Marge,
I can laugh at that painted haired bitch. I will.
Oh, wow.
And I will always take that opportunity. So yeah, it just there does feel like something with this team. We will,
and I got to say this as a quick aside here because you give me a platform on your show, and that's your mistake. But I say all the above to say I get mad enough to call a grown-ass man a painted-haired bitch myself, hearing about these successes in Michigan that Harbaugh has executed by building a culture, because it pisses me off that Trent Baalke pulled his bullshit and he left San Francisco.
Yep. And Michigan is the benefactor of such. Mike and Devin both have Michigan and the over as well. Then we go to the All-State Sugar Bowl, also on Monday, 8:45 allegedly Eastern time on ESPN. This one, of course, from New Orleans, Louisiana. It is number 2 Washington. They are 13-0, taking on number 3 Texas, who is 12-1 and a 4-point favorite. 63.5 is your over/under on this one. Student of the game, we'll start with you.
Man, you call me a fool, but I'm going to pick the under here. And why? I think the difference in this game is very simple. Defense wins championships, and typically speaking, Washington cannot do that. Whereas Texas has a great defensive front, the likes of which subdued an SEC offensive line. Please see Alabama. I'm going to take Texas here. Like I said, give me the under, and I believe they cover those 4 points as well, Jim.
There we go. All right, EJ.
Oh no, I'm going all the way. I'm going to take Washington outright to win this game.
No, I'm kidding.
I
talk shit, but honestly, I can't rule that out, man.
But I agree with you though. I'll take the under this game on this one.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fascinating. You pick. I'm sorry, Jim. You picked Washington to win outright, but the under? That's interesting.
Yeah.
That implies you think Washington's going to play
strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Yeah, that implies you think Washington's going to play defense.
Very bold. Very bold. Here's the deal, man. Washington's been great all year. They've won arguably the 2 biggest games of the college football season. Michigan, Ohio State would like a word. The SEC title game probably would also like a word, but we tell them to fuck off this year.
Well, just like you should with your team too, Marge. But anyways.
What biggest game did Notre Dame play in?
I said Marge, but good try.
Oh, gotcha. Freudian slip, maybe. But the Washington has struggled at times where I think Texas is going to take advantage of, especially in a couple of games late. I mean, we look at the Apple Cup, and I understand the weather wasn't great, but Washington struggled there. They won a tough battle against Oregon State in probably some of the worst weather of the season. But even in those 2 games against Oregon, they were tight games where Oregon couldn't capitalize. I feel like this Steve Sarkisian Texas team will attack in those spots and be the better team. Now, if we're talking 4 points, I feel like it's going to be tight enough that I'm going to take Washington to cover the 4. But I think it's going to be within a field goal, but I think Texas is going to win. and I will take the slightest under.
Slight under.
Slight.
So
under.
62 points.
I think this will be the better of the two games on Monday because I think
look forward to watching
for the first time in a while, and this may be danger talking, but like for the first time in a while, I feel like the Alabama game is not going to be close, but it's going to be in a good way.
Wow.
At least in this house. Maybe not in the South, but yeah, Texas, but Washington covers and the under. Mike has Washington outright in the over. Devin has Texas and the over. Joe says Texas wins but doesn't cover, so he has Washington covering the 4 and the under as well. It's better of the two games and no one will see it. Well, Washington fans will. I guess Texas fans will too, because this would be a 6:45 start.
Isn't that a national holiday in the state of Texas, Jim?
Oh, always. Absolutely. So yeah, probably the next day.
Did anybody catch that I said national holiday for Texas? See, that's
that's
the joke. By the way, Jim, don't think I didn't catch the Freudian.
That's the joke.
Don't think I didn't catch the Freudian slip comment and you mentioning Marge and trying to deal with your soon-to-be Big Ten Irish currently playing in the ACC.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
NBC would like a word, bitch. Anyway,
that's adorable. You mean the contract they just re-upped? Yeah, it's adorable. All right. What's that?
Winter is coming.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Allegedly.
It's very cute. That is very.
Hey,
very
listen,
cute.
I don't want to hear anything from you, FSU fan, the way you're trying to supplant a conference currently yourself.
Let me out.
Let me out, bitch.
Get me out of here.
I'm still mad. I'm still crying.
Mike says he'll be working till 3 a.m., so he'll be watching. There you go. Somebody on the East Coast will be watching it. I'll be watching it till I fall asleep. All right, let's move on, guys, to the NFL playoff picture as we've been looking at it the past few weeks. Currently, and we can see where we sit here in the AFC first. And we have the current number 1 seed is Baltimore. Then we go to what would be a 2-7 matchup in Miami and Indianapolis. Kansas City, Buffalo would be your 3-6 matchup right now. Jacksonville, Cleveland would be your 4-5 matchup. Still in the hunt, we have Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Las Vegas in the 8, 9, 10, and 11 seed.
I'm sorry, Jim, you have a misprint. EJ Christians told me that the Bills season is over.
It's great.
All right, so
that's great.
In teams that have clinched, Miami has clinched, Baltimore has clinched, and
by clinched, Jim, you mean they've made the playoffs?
They have clinched a playoff spot. Yes, they have not clinched divisions yet. The number 1 seed is still in play. It could still be Miami. It could still be Baltimore. It could still be Cleveland.
Safe to say, Jim, the upcoming game of the Ravens and the Finns could decide that Humpy Bumpy.
More on that later.
Sorry.
But student of the game, Kyle Nash. Houston, Pittsburgh, Cincy, Vegas. Do any of those teams get in, or do you think the field that we have is going to be the field that we will get in 2 weeks?
Jim, I'm going to tell you this. 7 and 8 in the AFC are still very much in play based on the schedule of the teams in question. They are on a collision course in Week 18. And should they win in the coming week, Week 18, I believe, does decide that 7th seed. So that's a factor. As for everybody else, without, I think we locked in the Browns last week, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Listen.
And rightly so.
I know I've been rapping with my dude, CeeLou, Chris Lewis of the Sports After Dark podcast. And he tried to explain to me as best as he could the magic of what the Colts are doing. But Shane Steichen, no longer the top Coach of the Year candidate. You have to give Stefanski a ring there for the Browns so far. I haven't decided again. Like I said, there's still a couple weeks before we do the student of the game superlatives. Mikey Byrne, be ready 2 weeks, bitch. But
I mean, you played 4 different quarterbacks. You've lost both of your starting running backs. You've resurrected Joe Flacco from the grave, which apparently the New York Jets didn't have a thought to do.
The goddamn Jets.
Like you know what I mean? It is
Goddamn Jets.
it has been a brilliant coaching job. I see a comment here from Steve. Steve, shoot us a message on Facebook or wherever you are listening. Shoot us a message.
As a real quick note there, Jim, I think it's worth mention that the Jets, should they have gone with Joe Flacco, would have performed that seance a second time. I think that's fair to wonder. There's no fucking way he can do this again, right? Like I think that's fair to have had that doubt. I'll put it out there.
Sure, absolutely. EJ, same thing to you. When you look at this field and teams that are still alive, where do you see anything moving and shaking?
I mean, this shit's going to the bomb's confusing. Obviously,
that's what he meant to ask you.
Baltimore's
this week.
Baltimore's
it's about to get another kiss of death from
and I was just getting there too. Baltimore's in the 1 seed. They're going to beat Miami next week. I'm not even touching that one.
Congratulations, Devin.
It's game over. It's game over.
Dolphins stay at 2 seed. 3 seeds, Chiefs stay there. They'll clinch next week. 4 Jaguars. So the remaining games now, they play who now? Jags. They play last 2 games. Kyle, Falcons, right?
Incorrect. That would be the Panthers.
And then who else?
Also the Titans.
The one out. That's 2 in there. The Jags at the 4 seed.
Colts play the Raiders. More on that later. And then,
by the way, tell me you haven't read my holiday poem yet without telling me you haven't read my holiday poem yet on Jaguar Report.
I don't remember. It's been a long weekend. A lot of family.
Colts play
a lot of drinking too. Also, a lot of. Yeah.
Okay, see, that's a good answer.
Here we go. Browns stay at 5 seed. Obviously, that's a lock. 6 seed Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they're gonna get it. They're gonna get that spot. They'll win.
Wait, hold on, Ernest Christian. Not only did you tell me that the Bill season was over, but also in week 1, you told me they lost a must-win game. Excuse me. Can you please put up a certain president talking about a certain topic involving a word that starts with W there, Big Jim? Wrong president, but okay, I'll take it. I'm going over to the West Wing.
Oh, sorry. There we are.
Just stand there in your wrongness and be wrong and get used to it.
You meant a fictional president, not a president we wish was fictional.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I went there.
Woke Jim.
Again. Unapologetically went there.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude, Jim.
So the question now, EJ. So you have basically locked in seeds 1 through 6.
Buffalo's going to 16. Okay.
So here's the question with Indy. They play the Raiders this weekend and then the Texans. Do the Texans get in? Do the Raiders get in? Or do the Colts hold stay?
Colts last game is who again? Colts last game
would be the Texans.
The Colts play the Raiders this weekend and then the Texans.
That Raider game is gonna be fucking. Oh God, Raiders are frisky hell now. All of a sudden,
you're an emotional.
Dude, I hate to say this though. I can't want to fucking say this shit after last week. I can't rule out Pittsburgh, dude. That pedigree means something. Mikey Tomlin.
I think it'll mean something when they go into Seattle this weekend, but okay.
Dude, look, and this is week to week, man, but I'm going to take Pittsburgh. Fuck it.
Jeez.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not.
That pedigree, dude, that franchise.
So, okay, hold on. Just, I'll give you a chance to change your mind.
What's the schedule?
When I tell you that Pittsburgh plays at Seattle and at Baltimore.
Ooh. Baltimore may not need
Baltimore, maybe. Baltimore after this, we will have the number 1 seed wrapped up.
Will they?
Yes. After Miami?
Them again, so there's that.
Well, I'm assuming the Baltimore will beat Miami this weekend.
You're assuming you're not jinxing them again. Okay.
Right. Remember, they beat San Fran last night. I don't know if you guys forgot that.
Okay, yeah. So if they would win, they would lock up the 1 seed.
So at that point, that game wouldn't matter. And of course, the Steelers-Ravens game is always weird.
Here's part of the question though too is it kind of goes back to the whole Peyton Manning Colts thing. You're going to have the bye. Are you really going to not play your team for 2 weeks?
I am not fucking playing Lamar Jackson. Oh, and again, it doesn't matter. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Especially when you have an opportunity to eliminate TJ Watt from hurting Lamar Demetrius Jackson in a postseason game.
Right. And don't forget, too, Pittsburgh beat Baltimore already once this year. Just saying.
It seems forever ago now, but you're not wrong, Chief.
Yeah. Right. Just saying that's on the docket. So, look, we're going to change that.
That's fine.
I'm going to be off the fence, but reluctantly take Pittsburgh to take the 7th seed.
He's going to put a toe down on the grass there, Jim. And I'm not mad.
His ass is still going to be on the post. Yeah,
6 toes down.
Yeah.
He's got enough lube. He'll be fine. And it'll be great.
Yeah, I don't even if they lose to Miami this weekend, I still think Baltimore is going to end up as the 1 seed. Man, KC lucky enough to have gotten enough padding in the front end that I don't think I keep saying Oakland, Jesus. The Oakland Raiders of Las Vegas are going to end up catching them. So I think they're gonna lock in there. Jacksonville's similar thing as we talked about last week. Like they've done enough work on the front end, and the teams behind them are going to bastardize themselves out of winning that division. So I think your division winners are going to lock here. Cleveland definitely, the Bills probably, just because I don't have a lot of trust. Hubba. Who do you trust? And the teams behind, especially with games against New England and a Miami team that may not need that final game either. So Buffalo probably going to get in. Man, I think it's going to come down to that last week between Houston and Indy.
If you have the chance to eliminate Buffalo, you take it.
Wow, that's true. That's true. So they would probably play that game as well.
Even with Tua's quarterback? I mean,
yeah.
Look, I understand the concerns, but he's played, currently 16 weeks and he's been fine. So, continue to do what you're doing, and you've been protecting him well. You've been getting the ball out of his hands quicker, and it's been working. So
I think protecting the opportunity for a third game against Ed Oliver, Jim, is the best protection you can give to a Tagovailoa in that game. You do not need to see the NFL's most underrated defensive tackle a third time in a divisional game as a postseason game.
Devin, a Dolphins. Devin definitely loves you continuing to talk about the Ravens.
Devin, I want the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl at this point. So,
Mike.
Oh, Joe, boy, you just broke Devin's heart, EJ.
Man, jeez, there it goes. Like Mike agrees that Kyle's a division rival. They're not just going to roll over and let Pittsburgh make the playoffs.
Gosh, something very handsome reached that point too. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, going into those Week 18 games, Miami, Buffalo going to be in those spots. Baltimore, Pittsburgh going to be in those spots. So I do think it's going to come down to Indy and Houston.
It could.
If CJ Stroud, and I know we're a couple weeks out, if he gets healthy and can finish out the season, I think Houston's the better team. I think they would win there. If not, I think it would be Indy getting in.
I'm just saying, some of that Steeler pedigree, man. God, they remind me this week.
Listen, we know you're fond of
Omar. Look, and Mike, if you want to earmuff it, or you're not trying to hide what your team is and isn't. There's a difference between beating this Bengals team and beating a Ravens team that doesn't want you in the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say. Or beating a Seattle team that's still fighting for its life. Both games on the road. Like, you can talk about Steeler pedigree all you want. It's still Mason fucking Rudolph, and it ain't Christmas anymore.
Shit.
Like,
he said, your van isn't a sleigh, motherfucker. That's
I mean, I know. I said 6 toes down. I'm reluctant about it, but I'll.
Bro, your ass ain't stretching to get 6 toes down.
TJ Watt, man. Well, I'll say that.
All right. NFC picture. We have the number 1 seed San Francisco 49ers, a 2-7 matchup of Philly, Seattle, a 3-6 seed of matchup of Detroit and the Los Angeles Rams, a current 4-5 seed matchup of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. Sitting outside in the hunt is still Minnesota, Atlanta. Is that Atlanta? I can't even.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah, I guess it would be
19th.
Atlanta because they're still in the South Hunt. Atlanta, Green Bay, and New Orleans. Lions have locked up the division. First time in
93.
Since 93. First time since the realignment. Eagles have clinched a playoff spot. Dallas has clinched a playoff spot. The 49ers have clinched the division. Correct, Kyle?
I believe they have, yes, Jim. And they also could clinch the number 1 seed with the coming battle against the Red Tails.
Yes, they could. They could also do that. Because of tiebreakers and such. So, kind of same question. EJ, I'll start with you in terms of the teams in the hunt, and is anything going to change for you?
By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed the Giants are now eliminated officially this week.
Yes, but your Saints still
they were hanging around, dude. They hung around, dude. The fact they hung around this late in the year is pretty shocking.
shit.
But anyway, San Fran obviously 1 seed. That's going to lock in.
Shit, you son of a!
I'm going to say this.
Trent, you bastard.
Philadelphia will get the 2 seed. But
really, Jim,
man, I gotta say though, even with the win against New York yesterday, there's something going on there.
I saw something. I saw somebody tweet something, and tell me if you. I'm not going to say wholly agree with it, but can see the comparison. The Eagles this year is similar to Vikings last year.
I won't go that far. I won't go that far. No, I can see it, but look, the Eagles win the Super Bowl.
You can see like the blurred comparison, right? Like you're not agreeing with the full thought.
Not as good as a record.
The person's kind of trying to say.
But here's the thing, though. They have quality wins this year. They have
correct
quality wins
Thank you,
on
EJ.
there.
Well done.
They have wins against great teams. So when we're grading them on a championship level, they're not as good because they've also beaten the Chiefs. They've also beaten all these the Dolphins. They beat all these top teams. So they beat Buffalo. All these top teams. So that's also possible there. But there concerns your bigger picture, we'll say. But I think look at the 2 seed. You still got to play the Cardinals this week and the Giants again next week. Like, come on, that's easy. Detroit locked in the 3 seed as a result of that. I told y'all Tampa last week. Tampa won against Jacksonville. They're the 4 seed. So the Cowboys are the 5 seed, of course. Yep. Number 6, the Rams. Not only are they going to be 6 seed, they have now entered my Super Bowl bubble. I can see a scenario depending. Now here it is. Here's a key here. Depending on matchup. Depending on matchup. If they can avoid San Francisco and maybe even Dallas, if they play Philadelphia second round playoffs, I can see them beating Philadelphia with their bad secondary and somehow get into the conference championship.
I mean, look, I won't be mad at it if they eliminate the Eagles.
Of course. No. Well, here's the thing. No more, Matt, though. If these matchups hold by the middle of January, I'm picking the Rams beat the Lions first round.
I mean, I know those 8-point wins over the Saints and the Commanders are super convincing.
I'm just saying right now, if Lions and Rams play this week in the playoffs, I'm probably picking the Rams to win that game. They probably end up most likely drawing the Eagles, right?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Right. They probably play the Eagles second round of playoffs. I'm assuming. No, they reseed though. Shit.
Yeah, I say it would depend.
Depends on it all depends. Like I say, all depends on matchups. If they draw the Eagles second round of playoffs, I'm
here's the deal. So, no, if the Eagles would beat Seattle,
right,
the Rams would play the 49ers.
Right. Then that's where it's flawed. However, if for some reason the Rams somehow draw the Eagles somehow, some way,
they couldn't. At least not in the second round.
If the Eagles in the number 1 seed, they could.
You already locked the Niners into the number 1 seed.
I'm just saying the scenario here. Just don't
stop it. Stop it.
Don't play.
Stop it.
Just don't.
Stop it.
Here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. I can see the Rams beating the Eagles in the playoffs. That scenario is fucking terrible. It's terrible.
Here's the scenario he's talking about, Jim, so I can save him from himself by using himself against himself. If what he just said happens, continues to jinx a team like it has, even the Niners themselves, by him and you both working to injure Trent Williams, and the Niners don't get the 1 seed, then he's going to be all in on the Rams. But then by extension, because of his jinx, there's no possible fucking way they can make it to the Super Bowl because he believes in them. So really, by a big bit of philosophical logic that only somebody on this panel with Greek blood could produce,
made his head
there's
hurt.
no fucking way, EJ.
I made his head hurt. I made his head hurt. Here you go, Kyle. Bound your head right there. No, but that being said, yeah, but the Rams
happened.
that being said, Rams hold a 6 seed, Seattle holds 7 seed. Everybody else is out. What you see,
Weird.
What
because
you see
Seattle,
here,
it's so weird because Seattle lost that must-win game against Dallas the week after Thanksgiving. And now they're going to.
But again, they
That's
beat
so fucking weird.
They beat Philadelphia,
so it wasn't a must-win.
Oh shit!
Thank you for proving my point.
Gotcha, bitch.
Whatever.
If you lose a must-win, you can't recover from it. That's what makes it a must-win.
I said what I said.
Which is why there's not a must-win in week 1.
Oh my gosh. 23.
Kyle, same questions to you.
110-23. Best outburst by Jim on a show ever.
For real.
Listen, guys, I got to tell you. Here's where I'm at. The one thing I'll give EJ credit for is matchups do matter. And if the Eagles do come across the Rams, they will be in trouble. I just don't see that happening unless EJ's jinx is good for 2 times around, because he's already done jinx the Niners. So I'm feeling relatively safe, allegedly. But in order for me to not believe in these 7 who are here, Big Jim, that means I have to believe in either the Vikings, which will not happen, or the fucking fraud cons. Listen, credit to Tampa for beating the Jags this weekend, even though the Jags played probably the worst football in all of 2023.
Oh, easily. Yes.
But they may actually have a winning record to host a playoff game. So for that, I am just tickled pink.
Unlike the Brady-led Bucks last year.
Your Brady-led Bucks last
My
year.
Brady-led Bucks.
And you're no faith in the Packers to recover at this point. They're mathematically in the hunt, but are they dead?
No, not dead, but they're not going to make it.
Wait, you mean your Packers you thought were going to win 8 games are dead?
They almost lost to Carolina last week.
So they're dead. Thank you. Yeah, no, I think that the 7 teams that are in the 7 spots right now are not going to change. I think you could see potential seating changes. Obviously, those could start to lock starting this weekend. But yeah, I don't. Minnesota, especially now with the loss of TJ Hawkinson, like any less weapons for whoever the hell is under center in Minnesota, that's not good. And Rams are fine. Seattle's fine. It's going to come down to, will the Eagles get upset in one of the final 2 weeks? And can the Cowboys win at home against Detroit and then win on the road at Washington? Because with an Eagles loss, 1 Eagles loss and 2 Cowboys wins, the Cowboys win the division. Those are the things that.
Can you see the Giants beating the Eagles twice, Jim?
I mean, they didn't beat them this week, so there's still a chance of 1.
Well, there you go.
So I know we're not talking power rankings yet. We'll get to that and we'll make fun of each other
later
when the time gets there. But in terms of contenders, and I'd like to use the word differently than EJ does.
Thank God.
I want to talk about teams that you feel have a legitimate chance of making it to / winning the Super Bowl. And maybe those are 2 different things, but maybe we'll cross that bridge as we attack this. But teams that you legitimately see having a chance to play in the Super Bowl. For you, Kyle, we'll start with you on this one. Who do you see as legitimate AFC contenders?
Hubba, money. Who do I trust?
Yeah.
Listen.
Who do you trust?
and I brought this up to you filthy animals here in the offseason as my second favorite team before all hell broke loose upon Mikey Burns' Bengals. It's the Baltimore Ravens. Right? Once Joe Burrow was never more, I'm going with Lamar Demetrius Jackson all day, every day. I don't believe in the Dolphins.
So let me pose it this way: is there anybody else? And it'll be the same question to EJ: is there anybody besides Baltimore?
Well, in the words of the great Dr. Evil, how about no?
No. Hell no.
EJ, is there anybody outside?
Well, basically what he's saying is that it doesn't matter who they play in the AFC title game; they have no chance.
That's what he just said.
Yeah, pretty much.
So his
see what I did there? Pretty much.
His definition of a contender.
EJ, I clarified what I meant by contender. I meant legitimate chance at playing in and / winning the Super Bowl, not a team that you could see possibly, maybe, hopefully playing in an AFC title game. I'm talking about playing in and winning a Super Bowl. We can see Baltimore there.
If we're going based on
championship Sunday,
right? If you're going based on what you're saying now,
that's why I quantified what contender means.
Right, definitely Baltimore.
So yes, as I said to Kyle.
I'll tell you what.
Is there anybody outside of Baltimore?
I'll tell you what. What Cleveland does
for fuck's
is
sake.
generate football. Also, Cleveland already beat Baltimore this year. For the record. In Baltimore, for the record. So honestly, I'll go Ravens. I'll go Dolphins. I'll go Browns.
Now you're just jinxing people to be an asshole.
No. Listen.
You get a jinx. You
said it yourself. It's about matchups. I can see Cleveland beating Baltimore in the second round of the playoffs.
I can't.
I can see it.
I can't.
Cleveland was the last team to beat Baltimore.
Thank you.
And how many months ago was that, Jim?
That was what, middle of November?
Yeah, it was definitely November. It
was early November, yes.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, again,
November 12th, mid-November.
No. All the Baltimore Ravens are favorites to go to the Super Bowl? Absolutely. In fact, I would probably, after what I saw last night, put them a heavy favorite in the AFC.
Ryan says, "Isn't that the dude that wanted CJ Stroud for MVP?"
Why would
anyone say EJ?
I never said CJ Stroud was MVP of the league ever.
You said he's in the discussion.
Here's the comments, and by the way, you agree with me on that.
And I do. I'm about to back Ryan. Of all the horses to back in the race against DJ Christian, you found a way to pick the wrong one. Yes, CJ Stroud, Ryan. Very good.
Yeah, CJ Stroud.
CJ runs. Fries kick ass too, by the way.
I mean, again, the Texans have 8 wins this year. I mean, if you had that, I mean, come on now. No, but it's Baltimore.
Doesn't make you an MVP.
It's Miami's offense, obviously, and it's Cleveland, in my opinion. Those three teams in the AFC.
I'm not bought in on Miami yet.
Me neither.
Like,
obviously,
I don't blame you.
Yes, you beat the Cowboys. Good job. A lot of teams beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys play on the road. Sadly, but I could see a scenario where the Cleveland defense gets at Lamar Jackson enough to get there, and depending on health of NFC teams, I could see the same scenario in a Super Bowl. So I can see an argument for Cleveland. I'm not buying in on it yet, but I would buy futures in Cleveland before I bought futures in Miami. Let me put it that way.
Well, that's a different take. Yeah. At least they play
right
defense.
Right now, to me, the only true contender in the AFC is Baltimore. As I define it.
I should have said the Chiefs too still because of Mahomes.
You're a dumbass.
But fuck, man. They look
you're a dumbass.
But again, will say, but their quarterback is Pat Mahomes. Again.
It doesn't matter, dude.
Who called that? Wait, no. Who called that shot? Who called that shot, Jim?
You did.
Just saying. Pat Mahomes. And here's the thing also too. Yes, they don't go through Burrowhead. They don't go through that. But here's the thing.
There is no such
if in the scenario, the Browns beat the Ravens second round of playoffs, Chiefs win their playoff games, all of a sudden AFC title games is likely to play in Arrowhead again.
Sir, you make a very bold assumption.
So you're assuming that the Dolphins,
they can lose to Buffalo.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is why I keep saying the AFC is wide open.
Both conferences are kind of wide open.
And what's funny,
I feel real good about San Francisco overall.
If the Jags get healthy enough, they might beat Cleveland. Now, granted, that's a big if because they got a lot of injuries. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, it's because I remember a couple years ago people say
that was a close game in Cleveland. Everybody seems to forget.
Because for the record, the Chiefs have always been the number one seed every year with Mahomes. There was a year where Tennessee was number one seed and lost to Cincinnati, and Tennessee.
It's because Tennessee won a shit division and proved who they were in the postseason.
We're talking about comparisons to the Vikings. Those Titans are a good one.
Oh, absolutely, without question.
Yeah, though you want to talk about fraudulent number one seeds.
So to
Mike
your point
Vrabel's at the fucking top of the list.
So to your point about seeing my Super Bowl bubble here, I can see the Ravens playing
I
Super
didn't
Bowl.
talk about a Super Bowl bubble. That's you, sir.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say I can see those 4 teams playing the Super Bowl still.
Yeah, those are your words, not mine.
Of course, my words. I claim them.
In terms of, I know, but I quantified it multiple times, and you kept trying to push your narrative, sir. Jason has his only AFC team as the Ravens. He said the Browns are sneaky. He said the Bills can be sneaky as well. Yes, they can be. That's not what we were looking for
He
here.
mentions the Browns defense. I have said that they're the most underrated group in the NFL for how many weeks now, gentlemen? So we'll leave it.
Mike has Ravens, as much as it pains him to say it, Browns and Bills. Ryan says if Miami has healthy receivers, they can be scarier than people give them credit for.
Waddle's hurt. Maybe it's the rest of the year for the record.
Yeah.
Oh, he's done for the season. See that?
Regular season.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, that matters. I mean, listen, if to Ryan's credit, that is a dangerous duo, but again, at some point you have to stop somebody. So
that is true. All right. Same question in the NFC. And I guess I'll go outside of the 49ers. And again, for EJ, when I quantify contenders, I'm talking about teams that legitimate chance of playing in and winning the Super Bowl. EJ, outside of San Francisco, do you see anybody in the NFC?
I really want to say no. I really do. I don't see anyone being San Francisco. I really don't. I honestly, I think it's San Fran and bust. I think Baltimore's more vulnerable than the Niners because of the conference wonkiness.
All right, Kyle, same question to you.
You know, I'm not going to say the Cowboys because, no offense, Jim, there's history. I'm not going to say the Eagles because I think that EJ's right. Something wonky's going on there. They will not be out in the first round, but I do believe that they will struggle and possibly miss the NFC title game. It's weird, but Trent Williams being knocked out of the end of that AFC title game has me a little spooked. I can see a world where Brock Purdy is not protected by the actual MVP Trent Williams, and it's done by a team that's coached by a man who will bite your fucking kneecaps off. I have the Lions in the window.
Go ahead, EJ.
No, it's interesting. So, no, the Philadelphia thing though. Against San Francisco, against San Fran, they will need home field advantage, honestly, to even have a shot to beat San Francisco. I don't see them being San Francisco.
So what you're trying to say is that the San Francisco 49ers are a red tail win away from setting up a no-win scenario for the Eagles.
Pretty much. I think we've seen so far. Yeah, pretty much everything I've seen.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
gentlemen, a toast for
Philly
at Muehlheisen. Patience.
Philly is Philly or Dallas, whatever, is likely to play San Fran in the conference championship, but I don't see him beating him in there. Philly can still get there, and they probably
I mean,
will.
Dallas would play there again in the second round if Dallas beats what is now a matchup against Tampa Bay, and the Eagles and Lions win in the first round. Dallas.
But let's be real, fellas. You could see a world where Baker Mayfield ruins the Cowboys' day.
Absolutely. I think this Bucs team is not more dangerous than the one last year.
Well, thanks, Captain.
No fucking shit.
No, What I'm saying to you is this: is
The
like last,
quarterback
no, no,
was
what,
false.
no, what I'm saying to you last year,
O-line
there
isn't
was
a
no
mess.
shot. I remember saying on this show last year, I was saying there was zero shot that Tampa had to win that game against Dallas last year.
Well, great Nostradamus, but what the fuck?
This year, oh
Dumbass.
boy,
Nostradamus.
just saying. This year, I still pick Dallas, but it ain't gonna be like 90-10 like last year was.
Well, again, no kidding. This Bucks team is better than last year's Bucks team. Like, so yeah, they have a chance. They have more of a chance, without question. This offense is playing better. The defense is playing better.
I'm trying to come up with a pun of a famous soothsayer and the word tool, but I'm just not coming up.
But
Right,
are we?
it's
Wait.
There's
Here's the thing,
a
though.
basketball reference for you.
Wait, are we admitting now that this Dallas team's worse than last year's too, though?
No.
I'm
That's
not.
what I'm saying,
I'm not
though.
willing to admit that.
Okay, EJ, stop twisting words to when you really know what it is. It's the Cowboys' history, jinx, and culture, losing in big moments. Okay, I mean, let's think about the first big game they had this season against the Niners, where they got smashed. They had an opportunity to beat the Eagles and then blew it. Now, they did come around and smash an Eagles team who is now exposed like Janet Jackson in a halftime show. But overall, the Cowboys in the playoffs, in those big moments, whether you're a guy that invests in the clapper or, you see what I did there, making an old reference to an 80s stock and also a coach. You know, I know I'm insulting you, EJ Christian, but Jim is vouching for you, showing his emotion. But man, listen, we've been over this. Hubba, 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 money, money, money. Who can you trust? It's not the Cowboys in the playoffs, especially should they happen upon the 49ers. Now, granted,
but again,
Trent Williams.
I'm going to bring up last year because, again, with that game, and I get Niners better, Cowboys different, whatever. But the point where the Cowboys' one offensive weapon got hurt last year, it was 6-6. The final went 19-12.
Jim, understand, you do remember that the Niners were only a 5th seed that year, correct?
Last year?
I forget what seed they were in, but they were not.
Wait. Last year or the year before?
We're talking last year.
Last year they were the 3 seed last, weren't they?
Were they 3? I forget.
Oh, last year, it was Philly 1.
I am getting 2 years ago confused because they were a low seed and they still came out and upset Dallas.
Yeah. The year before that, they were the 6th seed, I think it was that year.
But the point you make, Jim, about the fact that the one offensive weapon got hurt or this and that happened, the Cowboys keep finding a fucking way. I have never said that the Niners were the better team in either of those matchups. I just start chuckling with my evil maniacal laugh because the Cowboys keep losing, mostly because they find a way, Jim. And with as much as Texas loves their gun laws, there are plenty of people that shoot themselves in the foot, and the entirety of the Dallas Cowboys roster is among them. See what I did there, Jim?
What I will say about Dallas, though, is that their issue is pretty much as San Francisco. I think everybody else in the conference, they're either on level or better than.
Okay.
Including Philadelphia. Including Philadelphia and Detroit.
The chat, I guess, is my response.
Oh, come on. I mean, it's a random Sunday. Come on.
Okay, well,
the
listen.
49ers lost to the Bengals, okay? The 49ers, like, the Eagles lost to the Jets. Like, what are we really doing there? Like,
okay,
like
well,
we're taking the worst example possible and continuing to beat it to death.
Okay,
those are bad games.
All we need is a team that's similar to the Bills to talk about, where people doubted the quarterback's ability, doubted the receiver core's ability, and doubted their ability to stay healthy on defense. And guess what? The goddamn LA Rams are that team.
You're making my case what I said earlier in the podcast.
Shut the fuck up, EJ.
Fuck you, man. You made my fucking case, motherfucker. I just said that matchups. I just said the matchups. If the no, it's not going to happen though because of the fact that
I'm not saying the matchups. It's Jim's misplaced faith. If you want to have that conversation, cool. No offense, Jim. What I'm trying to say is I'm trying to play Jim's game. Well, golly, Kyle, it was only one score away before we shot ourselves in the foot. You think it's only the Niners that'll happen with? My response is cool story.
No,
Listen,
that's fine. That's fine. The point that you keep bringing up the Cardinals game, bring up the Eagles game, bring up the Bills game, bring up the Dolphins game. Those are the better examples.
Okay.
You bring up the Cardinals game every week. That's the anomaly.
Everybody has a bad loss on their schedule.
Sure.
That's what it is.
Hey, listen, and the Niners have 3 thanks to Trent Williams getting hurt. I mean, we want to have the MVP discussion again. Cool. That's why I answered the question the way I did with the Rams. Okay, you want an exact set of circumstances? How about I match it to a game that of a team that was the lowest floor but the highest ceiling, right? All you got to do is come out and play a good game and play some good defense with which the Cowboys are alleged to be able and capable of doing, and they couldn't do it that week.
All I know is
they are capable.
What we see here,
I agree with that. I want to treat the Cowboys better, regardless of my Niners fanhood. But God damn it, you have to show me something in the playoffs.
They should be the Niners for the last couple years.
Well, yeah, well, Trent Williams has to get healthy. None of this Niners bullshit.
I mean, like I said, I'll say it again. Like, I think this match, what you have in the NFC, that's going to be the matchups to a T. That's your matchups.
Yeah, most likely.
I think so.
Again, if the Eagles blink over the next couple weeks, it could change because I have faith in the Cowboys. More on that in a second. This weekend, because it's at home against Detroit, and then in the final week of the season at Washington. So if the Eagles blink, that's what's going to change. Otherwise, I think you're right. I think
good luck with that, them blinking just to eat Giants and the fucking Cardinals, but whatever. That being said,
they almost lost to the Giants at home this weekend.
I understand that. They're not losing the fucking Giants.
I mean, if you were a Giants fan, you would know that.
And had Tyrod
Taylor, yes,
Tyrod Taylor played that whole game instead of continuing to throw out the Sopranos wannabe, like the Giants probably would have won that game. Let's be honest. Let's be honest about that.
I just doubt they lose the last 2 games of the year. That being said,
Jason, the Jets beating the Eagles would like a word.
I would also submit that the Raiders beating the Chiefs would also like to see you after that stuff.
I'm just saying that right now, if this is the match we see in 2 weeks, I might pick the Rams and the Lions. Just saying.
I don't know why you have so much confidence in the Rams over the Lions.
Recent Super Bowl pedigree. They got Aaron Donald. They got the receivers are fucking terrifying to
Listen,
work.
I know that they handed your boy his last playoff loss beyond the first round.
Super Bowl pedigree. There's like 3 guys on that offense that played in that Super Bowl, bro. Like, I'm just saying.
By the way, speaking of Super Bowl pedigree, some of that Rams Super Bowl pedigree is playing on your Ravens team, by the way.
All right. Let's move on. Dear Lord.
All right, let's do it. That's fun.
And
long.
All right, let's look at week 17 games.
I just laugh looking at the desperation in the comments, Jim. The people starting to throw shit at EJ. It's adorable.
It's what it is, man. Get over it, fuckers.
All right, let's look at week 17 games. We have actually 7 games to pick this week just because of the amount of scenarios still at play. All right, the 11-4 Lions at the 10-5 Cowboys, 6-point home favorite for Dallas. 53.5 is your over-under. This one Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern time on ABC and ESPN. EJ, we'll start with you.
Give me Dallas to cover. Give me the over.
All right, Kyle.
Listen, only a Cowboys homer would actually pick the freaking Cowboys to cover in this humpy bumpy. You're giving me 6 points? Give me the damn Lions here. This is going to be a nice, fun outing, and I see some bloody kneecaps. I do believe the Cowboys still win the football game, but it will not be a simple affair.
I think the Lions are primed for like an emotional letdown after the division, locking up the division title last week, and they are fairly locked in to that 3 seed because of tiebreakers. I like the Cowboys at home, obviously. Long home win streak. They have been dominant at home, including against teams that are near the top of the NFC. So I'll take the Cowboys. I'll take the Cowboys to cover and give me the over as well.
Good.
Seeing a lot of people picking the Lions to win outright in the comments. This is interesting.
Oh, gee, there's a lot of people who don't like the Cowboys in the comments. I'm shocked.
They allow their feelings to get in the way of actual analysis. That's all.
Mike says Lions outright and the over. At least, what does he say? He said Lions outright and the over. Sorry, EJ and Jim. Hatred towards the Lions made me do this. Jason has the Lions 38-35 in a shootout.
Well, Jim, for
For the
our
record-
question, shut up, EJ, real quick. EJ,
Fuck you,
I
man.
want the record to show the Niners fan picked your team to win. So I want to hear this. I'm oppressed bullshit. Okay.
Yeah. For the record, I'm rooting for the Lions to win the
What
game. so.
Niners fan picked the Cowboys? Oh.
Yeah, the guy on the fucking panel, douche.
Devin has Cowboys and the under. All right, next one. The 7-8 Saints at the 8-7 Buccaneers. We're a 3-point home favorite. 42's your over under Sunday, 1:00 Eastern time on Fox. EJ.
Give me the Bucks to win outright. Give me the 42. You said right?
Yes.
I'll take it over. Sorry, honey. I know she's a Saints fan, so give me the over that one.
Kyle.
Man,
Okay, I don't know what this is in relation to, but Ryan said EJ's like a poorly working microwave, serving up cold takes all night. Love it.
oh, hey, I'm glad you do a basketball show, EJ. That way you're familiar with the dunks. Listen,
It's great. Where's Matt when you need him?
Saints Bucks. Why are we talking about this game?
The
It
Bucks
is
are pretty
playoff
good.
implication. Kyle.
Yeah, it does technically, even though I think the Bucks are going to win no matter what. I believe the Bucks beat the Saints to secure a winning record hosting a playoff game. I have the Bucks, but just for the hell of it, give me the under because I don't trust in either of these damn teams.
I think the Bucks throttle the Saints, and I think the Saints are going to struggle to score any points, and that's why I'm going to take the under.
Hey.
Then we go Sunday, 1:00 Eastern time on CBS. It's the 11-4 Miami Dolphins at the 12-3 Baltimore Ravens, who are a 4-point home favorite. 47 is your over/under on this one. EJ, Mike said his NFC South sucks. He hopes the final is 2-0 in that line.
No, Bucks are actually pretty decent though. No, give me Ravens win this game outright. Waddle's probably gonna be out for this game, out for the year. Give the Ravens win this game outright. Cover 4 points, the whole 9. Give me, oh boy, give me. You know what? Give me a slight under, slight under.
Kyle.
You know, I think this Ravens-Dolphins game, for me outright, I'm going to say over to lead my pick. I think that's the bet here. I, however, have zero faith in the Dolphins closing the door without the Waddles. Gives Kyle Hamilton and company in the secondary to concentrate more on Tyreek Hill. Not sure he's even 100%. I hope for Tua's health, but I do believe he also is jinxed and sacked enough to allow Lamar Demetrius Jackson to handle business.
EJ, do you know where you saw that Waddle could be out for the year?
I saw on a Bleacher Report. I got an alert last night saying you out for the regular season. I'm gonna look for it real quick.
Yeah, all right, because I didn't see any of that at any point. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I didn't see it. Here's the deal. If Waddle's out, Hill still kind of dinged up. That's a bad recipe. Dude, I don't think we've heard anything on the status of Kyle Hamilton. I know he went out with a knee in the second half of the game last night. So if he is out, that's going to level the field even with Waddle out of the game. I think the Ravens are better. I think they win. Just because we don't know about injuries and things yet. I'll take the Dolphins to cover.
Jim, let me add this bit of spice to it. I can tell you that Jalen Waddle suffering a high ankle injury. Even if he's not out, he is going to be limited. I think that's
there you go. That is fair. That is fair. But I'll take the Dolphins to cover. Ravens win outright, and I will take a under in this one. Mike has Ravens.
Go
ahead.
No, it says Yahoo Sports Dolphins might lose Waddle for a while due to high ankle sprain. So there you go.
Okay, so yeah, high ankle sprain that can be week to week. But like great point by Kyle. If he plays, he will be limited because of it.
I mean, not everybody is one Trevor Lawrence to come out and start with a high ankle injury, but then we also saw how he played against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right.
Not great, Bob.
Mike has the Ravens in the under. Jason has Ravens 37, Dolphins 23. I'm not going to math on that. I think that's probably it's definitely over. Devin has Miami and the over. Shocking there from Devin.
Homer. Good job, Devin.
All right, next one we go to Sunday 1:00 on CBS. It is the 7-8 Raiders playing for their lives at the 8-7 Colts, who are a 3-point home favorite. 44 is your over under on this one. EJ.
Wow, the frisky Raiders, huh? Give me the Raiders, man. Outright. What's your runner again?
44. Pay attention.
Take under. Why not? Under.
All right, Kyle.
It's the under. DeForest Buckner would like a word. Your offense would be rendered pointless, Mr. Pierce. I'm sorry. Thank you. Have a nice day. Shane Steichen may not be coach of the year, but I think he does enough to secure a win and a cover by the Colts. Also give me the under.
Yeah, the under is without question the play. This Raiders defense has been playing really, really well. The Raiders offense.
Wait, EJ said he was putting money on it. I'd like to pick the over, please.
I did well this weekend. So
the Raiders offense stinks. Okay, it stinks. So definitely take the under. Oh, gross.
The power Antonio Pierce compels you, Jim. Show some respect. Super Bowl champion.
Colts win, cover. Next.
Snap call. That's snap call.
Jay says Raiders in the under. Mike has Raiders in the under as well.
Confidence in the Raiders. What am I missing here?
AP, baby. Let's go. Give him a job.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut your ass.
I wanted to pick the Raiders until EJ did that nonsense. All right, next one. Steelers 8-7 at the 8-7 Seattle Seahawks, who are a 3.5-point home favorite. 41.5 is your over under on this one. Sunday, 4:05 Eastern time on Fox. EJ.
I'm gonna shock y'all again. Give me Pittsburgh.
It's not shocking based on what you said earlier.
Exactly. Give me Pittsburgh. Pedigree.
The shocking dumb part was earlier when you were talking about the Steelers.
I'll tell you what, that over is way high though. It's the same with the Raiders game. 42. Give me under.
Yeah. Kyle.
You know, in a confusing bout of silly confusingness, I'm going to see if I can repair the microwave. That take isn't necessarily so cold in my mind. Give me the Steelers because they're right in all the wrong places to make it go wrong for the Seahawks. And I just don't believe in them of late. That being said, the under is actually the play for this game because to expect what to get from either of these offenses is absolutely impossible to know.
I will take Seattle in this one.
Homer?
Definitely the under. Definitely the under. I think both offenses are going to struggle. Mason Rudolph is going to learn that playing in Seattle is a little bit harder in this game. So yeah, I like Seattle in this one. A slight cover, but definitely the under.
That team that he beat last week, who day?
Oh, I see what you did.
Tennessee. Oh, Rudolph. I mean, yeah.
God fucking damn it!
You dumbass.
Mike has Sea Chickens in the over. Jason has the Seahawks and the over as well. He questioned his Steelers beat NFC teams. I don't know. I don't care about them enough to look. The 8-7 Bengals travel to 9-6 Kansas City, who are a 7-point home favorite. 44.5 is your over under on this one. Sunday, 4:25 Eastern time, CBS. EJ.
I'll take the Bengals on the points actually on this one. They won't win the game though, but I'll take them on the points. And I will take a slight over.
All right, Kyle.
I think EJ's right with the slide over. I also agree. I'm getting 6 points is what I heard you say.
7.
Screw it. Give me, you know what? I will take Mikey Burns Bengals with those points. I think the game will be decided by Patrick Lavon Mahomes II putting this Humpy Bumpy on his back and giving Butker an opportunity to kick the field goal. If he misses that sumbitch, just clean out the whole fucking team. But
Mike, do we know, is Jamar Chase going to be back this week? Because I know he was out last week, right? If he's back, I like the Bengals. I actually like the Bengals, maybe even to pull an upset. But I will say Bengals are definitely going to cover the 7. 7 feels like a lot for what this Chiefs team, and I get what the Bengals are and losing to Mason Rudolph a week ago. So I get it. He's questionable as of now. So I'll go. Chiefs are going to win. Bengals cover. Slight under. I don't have a lot of faith in both these offenses, if we're being honest about it. Jason has Chiefs in the under. Mike has Bengals outright in the over.
Homer.
And lastly for the week, two teams just trying their best to stay alive. But it is the 7-8 Green Bay Packers at the 7-8 Minnesota Vikings, who are 2-point home favorite. 46 is your over-under on this one. Sunday night, 8:20 Eastern time on NBC. EJ.
Packers under.
All right, Kyle.
Give me EJ's Packers. Them trying to make the playoffs is more outdated than John Travolta and the Bee Gees. But at the end of the day, I still see them taking the win. You know, because they're staying alive. Anybody. God fucking damn it.
I got it. It's just not your best work. That's all I'm saying.
That was great.
Well, it's because EJ, you were like 30 when that movie came out, right?
Wow.
Yeah, like Kyle's not older than me.
Jason says a 23-23 tie. So he
loses that game.
So he takes the Packers to cover in a push, and America loses this game. And Mike has Packers because this game will finish 3-3. So again, he's taking the Packers to cover the 2. Yeah, look, neither of these teams is going to make the playoffs, but the Packers will eliminate the Vikings this weekend with a win in Minnesota, and I will take the under because both teams stink.
Yeah.
And that is where we leave week number 17 in the NFL football season. I guess I didn't need to leave the playoff picture up, but hey, we like looking at the playoff picture, right? And now, of course, we go to this. He's really getting into it this week.
What was that, dude?
Listen, motherfucker. Since we started doing this playoff segment,
what is this?
I have to already try to find more energy to walk into your bullshit power rankings. So you're going to get whatever I can to keep that energy up, you hater.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said, what the hell was that? So
all right, so as we do each and every week, we look at EJ's and ours top 10 and bottom 5 power rankings. For those who are looking at the screen, we will start on the right side with his bottom 5. EJ, what's your bottom 5 look like this week?
Bottom 5, I think it's the same 5 teams the last couple of weeks. We're going to continue with the same 5.
Yeah,
28 Commanders.
A little bit.
Yeah, huh?
You just shuffled the positioning a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, very little. 28 Commanders, 29 Patriots, 30 the Chargers, 31 Cardinals, 32 Panthers.
Yeah, I think I still have. I have these same 5 teams. I don't know. I still have the Commanders as the worst. Just feel like they're even in a worse position than the Panthers and Cardinals are.
I mean, I admire Jim's strength in talking about the Cardinals without bitching about them being brought up on the show, but okay.
I mean, just continuing to use them as, you just keep isolating an anomaly like that. That's fine. I mean, why don't you bring up Notre Dame and Pitt in triple overtime while we're at it for playing the hits?
Okay, see, this is not my fault. I did not bring that shit up.
I'm just saying.
I want the record to show that awful team with Manti Te'o was just smashed in the national championship. Is about the only thing. Anyway.
Yeah, because nobody else was undefeated. Thank you. Yeah, but bottom 5. These are the 5 worst teams. I don't.
Cancun.
I don't think what.
They're in Cancun already, man. These teams don't even matter anymore.
Oh yeah, they don't give a shit. Yeah. All right, EJ, who's your top 10 this week?
All right, number 10, newcomer. We got the Rams, number 10. Number 9, the Bills. 8 Chiefs, 7 Browns, 6 Cowboys, 5 Lions, 4 Dolphins, 3 Eagles, 2 Niners, 1 Ravens.
Okay, listen. I know you're trying to deflect your Cowboy fanhood, all right? But how the hell do you have the Dolphins that much higher than the Cowboys if they're such a good team? Could somebody tell me? I like that you found the strength to bring the Chiefs down below the Browns, just like I told you to do last week. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. And then on top of that, you do bring the Lions up to 5th. That's adorable. I can see you not having the strength to make them 4th like I did, arguably, in the segment previous when Jim asked us who our Super Bowl contending types would be. But, I mean, I think you did all that so you would hide the fact that you tried to slide the Rams in at 10, which I'm not like cold-faced angry at. It just feels weird.
With the Rams or
the Rams. And actually, how are the Bills here? They lost that must-win game after their season being over. So I'm just very confused how the Bills are.
They were number 10 last week though. The Bills. So they were here last week. They moved up one spot,
okay, maybe I'm implicating they should have stayed.
Granted, they barely beat the fucking Chargers, but I mean things are getting weird in the league. Cowboys Lions though they play this week, so they'll have a big play and how
that built-in excuse bullshit.
Yep, they play this week.
You have the Eagles too high.
Interesting.
Again, all these teams are fucking weird, dude. I mean,
so the Dolphins at 4, you're okay with, Jim?
I have the Dolphins at 5.
Okay. It's in the ballpark.
My top 3, well, my top 2, I had to flip from last week, so I have Ravens at 1, Niners at 2. I had the Lions at 3 last week. I kept them there.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Browns.
Lions, Jim.
What's that?
Your Lions, Jim.
Obviously.
the risky Lions. Risky.
Those are my Lions, baby. Division champs. I have the Browns at 4 because if the Browns and Dolphins played this weekend, I'd pick the Browns. Dolphins at 5.
CJ Christian.
Dolphins at 5. I have the Eagles at 6, Cowboys 7, Chiefs, Bills, Rams as well to close out.
I have to admit though, the Browns probably should be a little higher. But here's I'm having a hard time processing that Joe Flacco in the year of our Lord 2023 is still playing quality football.
Whatever you say, Cowboys fan.
This is fucking weird to me. I'm sorry.
I don't understand how, like, earlier in the show, like you're really kind of getting on the fact that there's something wrong with the Eagles. You have the panic meter at 9, but yet 8 or 9, whatever. But you're still locking. You're still holding them at 3.
He's a Giants fan, Jim.
Like I don't. That doesn't add up to me, man. They lost 3 in a row. They beat the Giants by 5.
They're the new Chiefs. No, I don't know my 8.
They're the new Chiefs. This effing guy.
New Chiefs. They have a lot of leash because of who they are, I guess, right? I guess.
Like, are you doing it because they went to the Super Bowl last year?
Part of it is I have to admit some of it is that. I mean,
again, this is
still a 12. What are they now? What's the record now? Like 11 and 4.
Who do you trust?
Oh no, they're
11-4.
Yeah, we're having a conversation about 11-4 team. That I mean, again, they're not playing great football, but
in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. We get it, Ric Flair fan. We get it.
I don't know.
I get you. Jim, I get the Eagles being lower. I get it. I totally see the argument.
I mean, the Dolphins are 11-4. The Lions are 11-4. Arguably, both playing better football than the Eagles are right now. Like, the Eagles are beat up, and if you want to use the excuse, like, the Eagles are beat up. They've had a tough stretch. All of those, but like, they've lost three games in a row to good teams. They lost to a team that isn't even in your top 10.
Division physics are weird, Jim.
Oh, Seattle, I mean?
Yeah.
That team? Yeah.
Like, I just, and maybe it's Cowboys homerism in me, and maybe it's me living in Pennsylvania in me that, but I don't see how you can have the Eagles as the third best team in the NFL.
I live in Florida, and I agree with you, Jim.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I think you're, and I know it's weird. I get it. It's weird. It is weird that the Browns are good. I get it. It's weird. It's weird.
It's not even the Browns being good.
I'm going to say
Joe
it.
Flacco.
I'm going to say it one more time because it's time for the student to teach somebody else who probably won't listen, as Ernest Julius Christian never listens.
10
but
years a sample.
You have to stop thinking of it as Joe Flacco, because I don't give a shit what his name is. It was still an upgrade.
Agreed.
Then if you agree, what are we doing? Where is Brad Pitt?
The list is fluid, Kyle.
Stop. No, that is not the answer here. It's never the answer.
It's my answer.
And that doesn't make you right.
Lame answer.
Where is Brad
Lazy Pitt? Answer.
Where is Brad Pitt from Moneyball, Jim? I need help.
And what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Jason says he has Ravens, Niners, Lions, Eagles, Browns, Cowboys. And he says, what's wrong about Flacco? What did Kurt Angle do? Or Kurt Warner.
Kurt Angle.
I'm already thinking about three count Thursday on Thursday night, right?
That's great.
Anybody else?
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Warner do with the Cards at age 50. Yeah, Kurt Angle could probably play quarterback for these Browns if we're being honest.
At this point, yeah.
There you go, Jason. There you go. He says EJ suspended for a week. Mike is his replacement. Mike says Ravens, Niners. Mike has Ravens, Niners, Lions, Browns, Dolphins, Eagles, Cowboys, Bills, Chiefs, Rams. So Mike only Mike is the same thing as me, but he has the Bills and Chiefs flipped. I'm still not ready to buy in on the Bills.
This Rams at 10 consistency is fascinating. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just think it's weird. Of all the
I will say, like I said, this Cowboys Lions game, it's gonna be huge this week. The Lions win this game against Cowboys. They're gonna get a massive bump.
Huge game for the NFC.
I don't know. Eagles might get a 1-point win over the Cardinals, and you have to keep them at 3.
Now who's bringing up the Cardinals, motherfucker?
I will say this much. No, I don't think we're appreciating the parity in this league, dude. The parity in this league is so sick right now.
Oh God, here we go.
It's so sick.
It is.
Last week we were crowning the Niners the best team in football. Period.
And you're knee jerking over
and
one
Baltimore
game,
walks in a
just
fucking
like Jim told you not to do after losing to the 49ers.
And then Baltimore walks in there and fucking curb stomps them on Monday Night Football on the road.
Well, but what happened, EJ? That's not so unpredictable. What happened? What happened?
Well,
where's Wallace? I should say, where's Williams? You jinxing some bitch.
Wait. Stop that.
Where's
Jason.
Williams?
Williams? I don't care what that final score was.
Stop that shit, Jason. That is bullshit.
Yeah, I don't give a shit what the final score was. The Ravens crushed the Niners last night. Stop.
Well, no,
that game was really never close to the third quarter.
They crushed them, guys. That's how that works. But listen, Trent Williams stays healthy. It's still a close game. Okay. Why do we keep doing this?
How early? When did you get hurt again? What part of the game did you get hurt again?
In the back half, just when it stopped being competitive. What? Something to say, Mr. Christian, Mr. Cowboys fan?
I'm asking
Mr.
questions.
Irish fan, Mr. Chiefs fan, Mr. Patriots fan, Mr. Bucks fan, Mr. Dolphins fan.
Broncos.
Thank you, Mr. Broncos fan. I knew I forgot one somewhere. God damn it!
Oh, the Denver Broncos.
The Bills must win. Mr. Steph Curry is the 8th best player of all time.
That is a disgusting act.
I'm sleepy.
Oh my God. All right. I think we've beat up on EJ enough for the week, right? Maybe. I mean, a few more weeks of it. All right, gentlemen, let's do this last thing before we get out of here for the week.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, of course, we look at one thing that will happen this upcoming weekend. EJ, what's going to happen this weekend?
My lock this week is going to be the Broncos will be officially eliminated from the playoffs. Officially. No shot. They lose the Chargers this weekend.
All right, Kyle.
I mean, I'm not going to call him a mail,
Lock it up.
but I do feel like he's mailing that bitch in. I'm locking the Ravens. I think that's a thing. Sorry, Devin. That's where I live.
Lock it up.
There we go. And Bill Belichick will get one final middle finger to the Bills.
Oh,
as head coach of the New England Patriots.
That is not fence sitting, my friend.
When the Patriots beat the Bills this weekend.
Damn. And I'm pretty sure EJ think that that's a must win for the Bills too.
Hold on. And so the Bills was the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Bill Belichick beat them twice this year. Holy shit.
One more middle finger.
I think you just gave the Patriots fan a chubby there, Jim.
That's why the camera moved half an inch.
It's not the van hitting the bump.
EJ, Jason asked, do you think the Giants will go after a quarterback in the draft?
They better, but they're a stupid team, so who knows?
Well, they can't because that contract's a some bitch.
Yeah, because they're still tied in for next year with Dines, right?
Yeah, they can still
like Dr. Evil needs both pinkies for that contract.
Right.
All right. That's where we leave it
For real.
for this week. Student of the game, Kyle Nash. Plug away.
An honor, joy, and privilege to be aboard, gentlemen. First of all, Happy New Year. Let me be among the last to wish you a happy holiday season, among the first to wish you a happy New Year here on the Huddle Up Podcast. Well wishes to Patient Zero himself, Matt Muehlheisen. For the love of God, man, come back. I'm getting worried. I am getting tired from all the dunking. I want to throw at least one alley-oop or at least watch you dunk one that EJ does on my behalf. Get well soon, and hope you had a good Christmas with the fam yourself. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram and Threads as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my writings with the Black and Gold banneret. I wrote up the Gasparilla Bowl, where they recently got pounced by Jim's ACC there. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets came in and handled business. And so, yeah, check that out. Also be covering some basketball with the UCF Knights here coming up soon. So check out that as well. Also, look out for my work with the Jaguar Report. Will I be covering the Jaguars this weekend? Not at Everbank, but I will be writing a report for Jaguar Report on the game. But Kyle, why aren't you going to Everbank Stadium? Because the coach's presser for the Citrus Bowl is that morning. So not only do I have the Pop-Tarts Bowl on Thursday, by the way, look out for that, the preview to drop tomorrow morning on the three-point conversion, bing, but also covering the Citrus Bowl as well, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. I still don't, whatever, branding is a thing, guys. Punchline is this, look out for that work on the three-point conversion, and also my work with A7B in sports covering the Orlando Magic. Hey, EJ Christian, Paolo Banchero is pretty good at basketball, I've come to find out.
You're damn right.
With all that in mind, I will be checking out the Minnesota Timberwolves. Last I checked, top seed in the West. They'll be coming to town January 9th. I will be in the Kia Center, no longer the Amway, for that. So check that out as well. Also, look out.
Wow, it's his name. Shit.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Step your game up, basketball man. Anyways, by the way,
allegedly,
Steph Curry, still not the GOAT. Anyways, so
I never said he was.
I know you didn't, but just do better. Anyway,
That's the joke.
Okay.
An honor, joy, and privilege to you all. Check out my work with Mark Moses, by the way, out there on 5040 The Fan in Melbourne. Until next time, my friends, class dismissed.
All right, EJ, plug away.
All right, Earthshaker Podcast across all podcast catchers. We didn't do a student game report this week. Kids are home from the winter holidays. So
I may not even have a student of the game podcast this week, the way things are forming up, gentlemen. But we will have the Duval Dive on Friday.
Cool. Good to know. Absolutely. YouTube, of course, youtube.com/@Ernest Christian. That's it for me. Guys, this last show of the year for us too, also. So
calendar year, yes.
We're calendar, right, calendar.
Yes,
so
we
happy New
are
Year, guys.
here through the week after the Super Bowl,
right?
With the live shows, and then we'll go to our off-season program. But yeah, where it's starting to wind down, guys. It's hard to believe.
We're getting sad. Getting sad, Jim.
I'm always sad when it comes to football, EJ. You know this by now.
That's fun for me.
Wow.
You know this by now.
You
can follow me at Big Jim Sports. Make sure you are following along with the show. We are at Huddle Up Podcast on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube, and on TikTok. So get us over there. Subscribe to the show. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Subscribe on all podcast platforms, wherever you listen to us. Rate and review where possible. Get your Huddle Up merchandise over at tpublic.com. And continue to share the show. This year, we've seen a lot of growth, all around, and tons of comments and live interactions each and every week, which certainly do appreciate that. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, Cowboys New Year's resolution to win an NFC title game. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they haven't been trying. The Niners have not won a Super Bowl since the year before the Cowboys last one. So just saying. Anyway, as we go towards our last, this is our last show of the calendar year. We'll be back in 2024 and beyond. So thank you very much. And until next time, stay safe, stay smart, and as always, go for the win.